We've got storms, seasonal shifts, and a huge pre-spawn bite unlocking in most of the country. Stay tuned because this is when the big ones start slipping up. What's up, guys? Bass Prediction Center here with another episode where we're tracking weather, seasonal patterns, and tournament trends to help you make better fishing decisions every single week. Welcome back, guys. Jumping right into our map, and it is getting warmer out, which is great. We've got our map decorated with some of our baits of the week, which we'll talk about later. But right now, our ice line has shifted almost all the way out of the country. We got maybe 1 or 2 more weeks. This thing's going to be gone. Maine, you still frozen up there, and then right along the Canadian border up here. Other than that, everybody in the country's fishing, which is awesome. Welcome spring, welcome summer. Here we go. Winter patterns starting to get thinner and thinner as this pre-spawn line shifts to the north. I want to see all this orange up in here, guys. Cannot wait. We're catching monsters in Nebraska. I see it all over Facebook. Spawn zones have expanded up into the southern part of Kansas, southern Missouri. Looking really good. A lot of fish on beds. All of California should be close to spawn right now. So super fun. And then your post spawn is just creeping up right behind that, where you're going to be catching all kinds of fry garters, shad spawners, everything. We do have an NPFL tournament in Lake Norman in North Carolina that we're going to talk about, and a Bassmaster Open here in Mississippi on a river there. So we'll talk about it in the tournament section coming right up. All right, looking back at our Pasquotank River event, which was just an absolute blowout. Kyle Welcher won this thing by over 45 pounds with a weight of 118.12. It's one of the biggest margins of victory ever in Bassmaster. He could have won this thing with his 3-day total. This guy landed on some fish. I'm going to be watching some of the podcasts and stuff to see what the heck he found, but absolutely stellar performance by Kyle Welcher. That's why they call him Stone Cold. Jumping over to Silted Water Bass, the tournament I fished in, and we'll talk about my results in this weekend's tournament breakdown video. But for now, I want to show you that Outlaw Fishing did win on Saturday with 16 pounds even. It was a tough day out there. Didn't quite get to the 17 pounds that I thought would win it. Sunday was won by the Harlan Maulers. I only fished on Saturday, could only fish one day. And then the overall weight for the weekend was won by Outlaw Fishing. So congratulations to Josh Bauer and DJ Henderson and the Pagets for having a great weekend over there on Wilson. All right, jumping over to the NPFL, they do have a tournament coming up this week, and I am very surprised because it feels like it's been forever since we've seen them fish. But it's on April 16th and through the 18th there at Lake Norman in North Carolina. Should be a really fun tournament right in the heart of the spawn. Hopefully these guys are absolutely hammering them. I've seen some guys on Instagram posting about the practice, so it looks like it should be a really fun tournament. We'll talk about the weather that's going to be happening there coming up, so check it out at npfl.com. And we got Bassmaster fishing an open over there at the Tom Bigby River in Mississippi, which should be a really cool tournament. Love river tournaments. A lot of different fisheries that they're starting to incorporate, which I really like to see. Maybe they'll get an elite series event happening over here sometime. But Bassmaster.com, check this thing out. Should be a really good tournament and a lot of fun for those guys. So here we go. And jumping right into our weather for the week. Right now, pretty calm out there. You do have some rain showers happening up here in the northeast, but you have a high pressure system sitting right over the center of the country, keeping everything pretty quiet on the fishing front. But this is going to change as we move towards the middle of the week. Wednesday brings us a low pressure system. It's going to be actually more into Thursday night. Wednesday night around midnight, this low pressure system develops right over the Great Plains here. Starts to bring some thunderstorms, possibly severe here into Missouri, Iowa, even up into Canada, and then some snow on the backside in the Montana and in the mountains. And this thing's going to kind of mess with us the rest of the week. It's going to move up here to the northeast, bringing showers and thunderstorms to the Midwest here. And then another low is going to form right back here in New Mexico, which is going to bring some severe weather here into Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, all the way stretching up to Pennsylvania. These two lows are kind of combining forces here, kind of the Alabama rig of weather here. So going to watch out for that thing. It's going to form this line of storms. We'll know closer later in the week here. This is going to be on Saturday and Sunday, whether or not this is going to be very severe, but it's looking like it definitely could be. So be weather aware and make sure you're watching your fishing plans this weekend. So, all right, this is our Supercell composite map for Thursday. And as you can see, it's showing a good chance of some severe storms happening here, southeast Nebraska, all through Kansas, Oklahoma, and northern Texas. So that's kind of what we're talking about for severe weather. Then as that pushes through, here's a big chance of severe weather in eastern Kansas, late Thursday into Friday night. Eastern Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa. Definitely a chance for some supercell formation, possibly even some tornadoes. And then in the weekend here, there's another patch of severe weather as that low forms here and makes that chain of weather. And Saturday night into Sunday night kind of mills around, but biggest threat right now is that eastern in Kansas there on Thursday night. So keep your eyes peeled if you're fishing out there, especially if you're fishing night fishing right now, catfish, walleye. Definitely a chance for some severe weather. All right, our winds right now aren't too bad. Up here in the northeast, a little gusty, but not terrible. And then as we move through the week, winds do pick up here in the southwest and in the southern Great Plains. Kind of normal for this time of year. It's April, fronts moving through. So as these fronts each push through, going to be surrounded by winds. If you're in the areas of these fronts, just be really careful out there. Have your life jackets on and your kill switches engaged. The weekend actually going to calm down a little bit on Sunday, which is nice. So if you can get away from the storm Sunday, it'd be a great day to fish pretty much anywhere in the country. The wind should be died down quite a bit. So get out there on Sunday and catch you a personal best. High temperatures for Tuesday, looking very warm across most of the country. You got 50s up all the way into Canada, which is awesome for those guys. 70s and 80s all throughout the south and southeast. Midwest still sitting with some 40s and 50s. Been having a lot of cool air in these regions, so hopefully this can warm up for you guys and you can get out of that cool funk. Wednesday highs got a big shot of warm air coming up here into the Great Plains, bringing 80s and possibly even 90s up into Nebraska and Kansas. Whole southwest and west is looking great. 60s and 70s up there. Some of this warm air is pushing into the Midwest, so that's good for you guys. Hopefully this can warm you right up and get you into that pre-spawn zoning and start catching some giants. All right, that warm air kind of just chills here in the southern Great Plains here. 80s and 90s still Nebraska, Kansas, all the way down into Mexico, actually. Florida is very warm as always this time of year. The warm air pushes a little bit east. Michigan. You're almost 60 degrees, which is really nice. Minnesota, you got 50s and 60s. A little bit of cool air pushing here into the Dakotas and in Montana, 40s and 50s for the high. And the Northwest and the West are looking about the same with 50s to 70s all throughout there. All right, on Friday, our warm air does push a little bit to the east, and you do have a little bit of cool air that moves down into parts of the northern Great Plains, 40s and 50s here all the way down into Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. California and Washington, Oregon, along the coast there, you're sitting really pretty, 70 degrees. The south and southeast, 80s and 90s across the board. And then Michigan, you're warming up in the mid-70s. That's really great for you guys. Definitely going to help your pre-spawn bite. 70s all throughout this northeast. And then even in Maine, you're approaching 60 degrees. We're going to get that ice line melted for sure. Saturday highs, as that front forms here, you're going to have a real line of warm temperatures to the south, cooler temperatures to the north. You do have a warm pocket of air finally moving in behind it. It's going to warm right back up after this thing moves through. But 50s and 60s in here. California, I don't know, we even talk about the temperatures for you because you stay the same every single day. The southeast, you're getting up into 80s and 90s in front of this thing. Definitely a pre-spawn day to be out there fishing. Should be really good for these tournaments that are here. A pre-frontal day, I meant to say. So Maine, you're up in the 60s this day. This is going to be really good for you guys right behind these storms. Definitely a day to be out there fishing in Maine if you have some open water. And just get out there and fish, guys, because it's going to be awesome. And finally, our Sunday high temperatures, the warm air shuttles back up here into the Great Plains, 50s and 60s all the way back up into Canada. The West is looking great again. Everybody's getting warm. You do have a little bit of cool air sitting right along this frontal boundary. 30s and 40s for the high there, which stinks this time of year, but better than nothing. And then the southeast still looking pre-frontal out here with all this warm air, all these giant bass. You guys are so lucky. Get out there and throw some giant baits, catch you a hammer. Just wanted a quick look here at our rain map, and this is through the weekend. So let's fast forward this a little bit here. There we go. So this is through the weekend. And you want to watch yourselves if you're in this area here, southern Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, northeast Texas. Definitely some heavy rains could fall in these areas with the storms that are going to be moving through. So if you're in an area that's prone to flooding, just be really careful. Water is definitely going to be rising. Fish are going to be pushing up into the moving water. So can help the fishing for sure, but also be safe out there. And watch for floods if you're in river systems or in any kind of lake that gets a lot of influx of rain. And right here in the center here in Nebraska, we are dry as a bone, still not looking good for us. We need massive amounts of rain. All of our lakes are low. Hope to get something so we can get a grass bite going on again someday. All right, guys, our lake of the week this week is a smallmouth factory, Lake Oahe in South Dakota. As you can see, this is the biggest snake river I've ever seen in my life. Now, this is a huge lake, stretches all the way from the center of South Dakota. Look here. The dam is here in Pierce, South Dakota, the capital of South Dakota, and this lake stretches all the way almost to Bismarck, North Dakota. This is right on the Missouri River. It's absolutely loaded with smallmouth and walleye. They had a Bassmaster Elite Series tournament here a couple years ago. Guys absolutely slaughtered them. So if you're ever in the area, this is a great lake to check out. I couldn't even begin to break it all down, but you've got all kinds of points and flats that the old river channel made, and these bass just set up out here in 15 to 20 foot of water. If you want to practice with a drop shot or a tube, this is the place to be. This map was clearly taken when there was ice. My cousins lived just south here close to Chamberlain and Miller, South Dakota, and they fish on the river all the time and just absolutely hammer the walleye. So go to Lake Oahe, get you some walleye for dinner, catch some smallmouth for the fun, and just check it out. It's a super cool lake. It goes all the way up here. Anywhere in South Dakota that you are, you can reach it. So check it out, guys. Lake Oahe, South Dakota. Guys, as you know, here at the Bass Prediction Center, we're shooting for 500 subscribers. We do have a giveaway going on where we're giving away some Beyond Braid products, a tackle box, and some fishing line. Check out the older video to see exactly what those look like. We have 351 right now. We're going to include anybody that subscribes from the time we started Bass Prediction Center back in February until we get to those 500 subscribers. Give those away to you guys because you're the ones who deserve it. You're the real champions. So make sure you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps the channel tremendously. Let's go on to the baits of the week. All right, back with another one of everybody's favorite episode, and that's Beyond Braid's Baits of the Week. Use code BPC10 at checkout at beyondbraid.com to get yourself a discount on some of the best braid on the market. All right, today, guys, we have the Ultra Vibe Speedworm and Post Spawn areas. If you have a lake that has grass in it at all, work this thing right over the tops of the grass, just on a really light Texas rig. But you're not going to fish it like a Texas rig. You're going to reel it just like a spinnerbait right over the tops of the grass. It floats around top of the grass. Fish absolutely love it. If you have anybody in Florida, call them. They'll tell you all about it. Spawn areas. I'm looking at a max scent creature hog. This is one of the best flipping baits on the market. If you're not using max scent, you're not even really fishing. This stuff has the best scent disbursement in the industry. Get it on a Texas rig, flip it on a bed, flip it all around. You're going to catch fry garters, you're going to catch pre-spawn fish, you're going to catch fish on beds. Awesome bait from Max Scent there over at Berkeley. Pre-spawn areas, got another chatterbait up here. This is my favorite chatterbait right now, and it's the new Z-Man Chatterbait Elite Evo. This thing is just as good as a jackhammer, if not better. It's got some really, really cool colors. I love the Hog Farmer Spunk Shad for the back of this thing. Helps it dart all around. Triggers some awesome reaction strikes. Winter areas, 6 Sense Gyro Tail Spinner. Tail spinners are super fun baits, especially if you have schooling fish offshore, smallmouth or largemouth. Definitely can catch fish when other things won't in the wintertime. So check it out over at 6sense.com. It's a cool little bait. And that is our Beyond Braid Baits of the Week, guys. Don't forget to use that code BPC10 at checkout over at beyondbraids.com. Get yourself 10% off any product. To recap, watch those storms, guys, this week, starting Wednesday night all the way through the weekend. On TikTok, follow me over here at Bass Prediction Center, where I will update you on any severe weather that's happening. If anything happens before the weekend update that I put out on Friday. Get ready for shifts in your bite window. The pre-spawn bite is continuing to move north, where big fish are going to be caught all over the country. Drop a comment with the lake you want featured next week, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 500. We're getting really close, and that's your Bass Prediction Center weekly update.